Heads up. The following tale contains bad language and situations created for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
So, Elliot suggests that the next day, the king keep a low profile, and what that means is, and what he means by that is that Elliot will disguise himself as the king because they are brothers, and take his place, kind of for safety's sake. And the king will just kind of hang out with you guys, so he won't be on the throne or anywhere that there might be a danger. Now, Elliot's going to keep one of the two bags of holding on him, and if you guys need to talk to Elliot, you can slip a note in there and shoot them back and forth, and the real-world equivalent of that will be we can use Facebook Messenger to contact Jake to ask him questions.
Is he able to be spoken to over Facebook Messenger right now?
Yep, we're just chatting back and forth on Facebook Messenger right now. So that's he can't come out and play and can't get on Mumble, but he can respond to Facebook messages. So if you need to talk to Elliot for any reason, just shoot him a message on the Facebook Messenger. Which works for everyone but Murgatroyd, unless you can still get onto that Gunner random name Facebook page I made for you a long time ago, Jay.
It doesn't work for me because I don't use Facebook.
Right.
But it wouldn't make sense anyways, because only I have the bag, so you would have to pass the notes to me anyway.
Perfect.
Gotcha.
And I'm a shell and have Facebook, so I'm all good.
I think I missed the last session. Where exactly are we right now?
No idea.
You are. This is great. So Dante's uncle's house has been pretty wrecked and ruined. So you guys had to abandon that place, unless you want to go and board up the windows and fix it up or patch it up, which you can either do yourselves or you can spend some of the money that was found in Dante's uncle's house to just have somebody come in and take care of it. That's up to you guys. You could just leave it. That's for all you care. But we'll say that the morning dawns on a we'll say it's a nice clear day in, where's my calendar? All right, this is the 22nd day of the 7th month, which means that there is just a little over a month before Grogfest. Yes, so it is summertime, and it's a lovely, clear and bright summer's day, which means when you step to the windows of the palace, Murgatroyd, where you are crashing out for the night, and look out over the bay, you can see just on the edge of the horizon a little speckled smear of ships out there, and you think you can see red sails. Valhalla, you've been enjoying the company of your fans after doing a stellar performance 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, except you're not sure. You did a huge rockin' show, and you've just been kind of enjoying going from house to house, partying with different people. Very, very rich people were at this party. And you kind of have now, got that moment where you're like, okay, better sober up and do some stuff. And you find your way up to where Murgatroyd is having his breakfast. And Arwen, you you as well have fetched Amicus from where you guys were resting at Dante's uncle's house before it got trashed, and are heading up to the palace as well, first thing in the morning here. So Valhalla and Murgatroyd and Arwen kind of rendezvous on the little patio overlooking the bay, where you guys are. I guess you're backlit by the rising sun, so the sun is shining down across the water and just making a very lovely scene to enjoy a cup of steaming hot beverage and some scones, if there were any scones left, but Murgatroyd has already filled his pockets with all the scones. Shortly, you are joined by a figure in what could only be described as a disguise, with large air quotes, a terrible wig, stuffed underneath a overly large hat and a false beard that's not even the same color as the terrible wig. The character comes, shuffling out, doing their worst impersonation of an old man, and speaks in an overly exaggerated, phony voice. "Oh, hey, young fellas, perhaps I'll join you for some breakfast." And he leans into Murgatroyd and gives you a wink, and you can see up close that it's definitely the king wearing a bad disguise. And he whispers to you, "It's me, it's the king." And he tugs his beard down a little bit so you can see his face.
Who's he talking to? I don't really know what's going on.
He's talking to all of you. And he says, he drops the phony voice when he looks around and sees that you guys are the only ones out here on the terrace. And he says, "Are we sure this is a good idea? Will Elliot be safe, assuming my place on the crown, on the throne?"
Sorry, I'm confused with what's even going on.
That's perfect. So Valhalla just says, "What?" And the king leans over again and says, you know, Valhalla, with the assassins trying to kill me, Elliot, who looks just like me for reasons known to some, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, nudges Murgatroyd again in the ribs with his elbow, has disguised himself as me and is taken my place, on the throne. And, I'm here incognito, just hanging out with you guys in case somebody tries to assassinate him, during the day. Do you think he'll be all right?
I'll just say hello, Elliot.
Who are you, and why would Elliot put himself in such danger?
He looks around again and he says, I'm the king of Loofah, the interim king, and until we get all this sorted out, and then they fully make me king, and then I'll be king, and you guys will have a connection here in Loofah because of our connection. And he does a little hand gesture.
Oh. All right. I'm guessing this is one of Elliot's ideas.
Yeah, it was Elliot's idea that we do a switcheroo, for my safety.
What a shock. Very well. So, what did Elliot say we were supposed to do next?
He said, I don't know. I'm just supposed to hang out with you guys. Just then, Sublime comes kind of shuffling out. He's like rubbing the sleep out of his eyes. He gives you a nod, Valhalla, and he goes, "Hey, what's up, King?" And the King's like, "Oh, come on."
All right. So, did Elliot have any sort of plan, or are we supposed to take you somewhere, or why do you guys always do this kind of thing when I'm out on a show?
Well, Elliot he's not a plan. Elliot's not the plan guy. I was always the plan guy, in the family. But listen, here's what's going on. This gig is much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. These guys that are trying to suss me out, I feel like they're getting close. They're going to uncover who I really am and what really happened to the prince. So, I'm thinking, right, that maybe this thing has run its course, and they're, if the advisor guy is paying the money and it's in the armory, right? We saw those great big chests loaded into the armory, man. They're, 50,000 gold Anurian crowns was half the payment. There's 100,000 gold down there. And he just points down into the inner courtyard where you can see the armory, and there's still, half a dozen royal guards and Loofah city guards just kind of on guard and watching the armory. It's like, there's got to be a piece of cake. We can go down there and get those chests and just get out of here. It's like, come on, I'll split it with the Rod Stewarts, 50-50.
Sidebar, are we still on a mission to take down a ghost ship?
He's like, yeah, it's the ghost ship thing is a problem for Loofah, and it's a problem for me if I stay here as the king of Loofah. But maybe, 100,000 reasons not to stay here in Loofah. That'd be
Well,
sweet.
that'd be sweet. That is awful cowardly. I think we would rather help the city of Loofah and get rid of that menacing ghost ship.
It's like, yeah, well, it might work out in our favor too. That if I, the king, suddenly vanish, disappear in the night, then hey, no longer will they need a contract to assassinate me, and maybe the ghost ship will just go away once this is done.
And go off to bother another innocent town.
Well, then that's town's problem.
You're going to be an excellent king, sir.
Yeah, I always thought so. But how about this? Listen to this. Okay, look, we grab the gold. Okay, we grab the 100,000, and he gets this. Every time he talks about the 100,000 gold, this little look comes across his face, even for just a split second of unbelievable joy. We grab the 100,000. And we go, but we set ourselves up. The Rod Stewarts said, you could get a franchise. You get a real franchise going here. You could get yourselves a suite, a keep, an office. Set yourselves up as like real, legitimate heroes for hire. And then the next town that has a problem with the ghost ship, you can go and deal with them there. And you get a hefty retainer for dealing with the ghost ship. It could be a thing. It could be win-win. We could get paid here, and then we could get paid again a little bit later on down the road.
And we just leave the person pretending to be the king there to be assassinated?
That's me. I'm pretending to be the king. So we just
leave Elliot's pretending to be the king.
Yeah, we just leave Elliot, but we'll tell him where we're going so that later on in the night time Elliot can, meet up with us somewhere. He can split. He's quick, he's crafty, he's light on his feet. I've seen Elliot get out of tighter jams than this. I've left Elliot in tighter jams than this.
As of I kind of enjoying a little bit of your jib here, but I think the massive flaw of it all is that with all this money, if you're to be king, you have quite a wealth to be in charge of to begin with. I think we should have a fairer cut. Definitely considering that there's more of us and one of you, and you have no luck without us. Whereas we have plenty of luck without you.
Whoa! Oh, so you're just gonna, you guys are you're just gonna steal it? You're just gonna steal the money and split and leave me here anyway? Yeah, I get it. I get it that I can't do this without you. But is that what you're gonna do? The Rod Stewarts now? You're just gonna leave me here twisting in the wind, steal the money, and then leave? Which I guess would not so much leave me twisting in the wind, because if you take the money, then they can't pay the assassins, so that actually might work out in everybody's benefit.
Don't you think?
Or we could go back to the original plan of trapping the assassin and go get one of our witnesses to see it and then taking down the ghost ship.
Ugh.
That's true. And we really want to discredit Marks, because Marks is trying to find the information to prove that I'm not the real prince and therefore should not be the king. So if you guys just take all the money and leave, then that stops the assassination, but Marks will still be here trying to out me. So how about this? What if you guys steal all the money, run away, we'll change the split to, let's say, 60-40, but I also hire you to get rid of Marks.
Well, how about this? Why should you get any of the money when we can just steal it ourselves?
Well, it's my plan. I came up with the idea. I'm the king, and I can have you all arrested.
I don't think so. I think it's Elliot who's wearing the crown.
He's just standing in for me. All I have to do is take off this disguise, my very clever disguise, and
get assassinated.
Right. But not if we steal the money successfully.
Not if we steal the money successfully.
Right. Yeah, we.
No, we.
We.
No, we.
Yeah. That's we. He does the finger motion to include all of you in the circle.
And I do the finger motion to include everyone but him.
He's like, okay, look, I think we're just arguing over semantics here right now. So, yeah, okay, the money is getting stolen by someone, and this will stop the assassination. That's great. I don't get killed. Elliot doesn't get killed. He wouldn't get killed anyway. He'd be fine. You know, and I don't need to split town, but I will need to split town unless you guys can take care of Marks.
Man, we put a lot of hard work into getting those witnesses on our side. Are we just like throwing that whole plan away?
Yeah, you know what? Okay, it was a good plan, and it was a lot of work. But here is a plan that could be a lot less work, right? Just get that money and run. And you know what? Maybe the more I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, it's a lot more money to stay here as King of Loofah, but it's more responsibilities.
The more I'm not talking to you in per se. How about the rest of the group?
I don't know. I think that these Elliot plans are far too well-winded. I think a little snatch and grab is a beautiful idea.
What money is this exactly? Who are we stealing from?
We're stealing it from assassins.
No, it's not with assassins now. It's going to go to assassins later.
Oh, it will be assassins.
Oh, Valhalla.
Well, I mean, I have no problem taking money away from terrorists.
I know, but where is it right now? I don't like stealing from regular people.
He says, well, technically, it's in the royal armory there, so it's kind of my money. So you'd be stealing it from me, and I don't mind.
Well, if that's the case, wouldn't Elliot have access to it right now? Why would we even have to steal it?
Well, because he doesn't technically have access to it. Marx is the one who's controlling it right now, even though it's Anurian crowns being held under the auspices of Loofah and things like that. But you know that, right? The king can't really just take any money he wants. But you know, technically, it's Loofah's money.
How about we commandeer the money until we figure out what's going on, and then we give the money back to Loofah?
I like that. So you guys commandeer the money, and I'll commandeer a ship, and you meet me down at the harbor, and we'll sail to Sun's Landing, and you can give the money back to Loofah, which will be me.
Right up until the ship part.
See? Arwen, you're going for his clever little tongue games here. No. We have a plan in place. We'll steal the money, and you can get a small share of that money. And that money was going to go to assassin. So I think it should just be more of a reward to protect your pretty little head.
Okay, just a second. No, Juliet, no.
All right, I think we should lock the fake king guy, who is the real king, up in a room where he can't interfere with our plans.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, A, Elliot's not going to enjoy that. B, he's not going to enjoy that. And then if it's found out that he's the real king, he's just going to get us locked up.
But I don't care for his opinion.
Okay. Look, yes, I understand, right? It's a lot of risk. It's a lot of things that come in that. Fine. Here's what we'll do. Okay, look, we'll split the money evenly, right? That's still a huge amount of money. There's what? How many of you guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, and Elliot, and then your buddy Vince, right? So that's 6. There's 6 of you guys. 6 of you, and then myself. So we'll split the money 7 ways.
No, there's some better wording that I can get behind. And how much money is this? If it's in your kingdom, you should know the amount. How much are we getting?
It's 100,000. 100,000 gold. 100,000 Anurian gold. So split up would still be 14,000 between all of us.
Damn. All right. I think we can get behind that logic with a few more negotiations.
Well, how about Arwen and Amicus are gonna go tail Max and see if they can figure out what he's up to because Arwen doesn't steal from people.
It's hardly stealing.
It's taking funds away from assassins. Are you siding with assassins, Arwen?
No, but if the assassins had the money and we were taking it, that would be different.
Well, they're gonna have.
I mean, the money's going to them. What's the difference if we take it now or later?
One makes us a
we're
criminal
preventing
and
the
one makes us
assassins
not criminals.
from assassinating.
He's got a point.
If we wait until the assassins have the money, they're gonna kill. If we take it now, they will not kill.
Or they'll just find another way to get the money.
No,
They'll
because
still be trying to kill him.
that's not how assassins work. Assassins work for money.
They do, but the people paying the assassins will find the money another way. So if we take away the money they have, they will get more money.
Then we'll steal that too.
Again,
Then
if
we
you guys
steal
want to
that
steal
too.
the money, that's cool, but I would rather figure out what Marx is up to and how we can take him down.
That's step 2 of the plan. Is we'll deal with him, but we gotta defund the assassins first.
King says, "Oh, if we steal the money, then we're gonna have to leave town right away."
Very good. We'll leave town right away. I think we should put it to a vote.
Agreed. The king says, "All in favor of stealing the money." The king and Sublime both raise their hands.
And Valhalla raises his hand.
Murgatroyd raised his hand.
Well, well, well.
Can we vote on the other option too?
Okay, yes. So, all in favor of doing Elliot's super convoluted plan.
Murgatroyd raised his hand again.
Could Jack
I
likes
raise
both
my
bands
hand.
as well.
Oh, it looks like it's 4 against 3. What a shame.
Does Amicus get a vote?
No.
Sublime kind of looks around and is like, "Yo, but Elliot and Vince, maybe we should ask them."
Very well, Vince. Elliot's too preoccupied right now. We can't be going to the king to ask him if we can steal his money.
Vince is in bed still recovering. He just
We don't
says,
have time for this.
do whatever and go away.
I don't like the word stealing. We're defunding assassins.
That's only true if we give the money back when we're done.
Well, the king was getting his share, and that's going back to the kingdom. So, are we set?
The
I
ki-
still disagree, but I'm not going to go against the group again.
Splendid. Now, Kingy boy, if we take this money and defund these assassins or would-be assassins, and you have to leave town, when do you switch back with old Elliot?
Oh, he says, I think that we could just tell Elliot where we're going, and he can meet us there. Elliot's good. You know, he always lands on his feet.
Yes, but why?
Right? All
Why
he's got to
don't
do
you want
is
to
leave the room and slip out of his disguise, and then be just like, "Oh, hey, it's me, that guy from the Rod Stewarts."
Yes, but don't you want to rule your own kingdom?
He says, "Yeah, I guess ruling my own kingdom is pretty sweet, you know, and the princess, the queen, I mean, she's great. But it's a lot of work, and there's people trying to kill me, so I was thinking that 100,000, pretty sweet, but even 14, you know, set me up on the next thing." maybe I could go with you guys.
Sorry, the party's been filled already, but well, then who's gonna be in charge of Loofah?
No, the queen. She'll find someone else. She, not a big deal. She can do it herself. She's great.
I give him a disgusted look and turn away.
Yeah, you sense a little bit of indecision when he talks about the queen, and a slight hesitation in him, as though, maybe there is something worth sticking here for. But then, it just like a creature falls back into its normal pattern of behavior, he slips back into, get the money and run. It's hard for a leopard to change his stripes.
Well, I shall let Elliot know of our plan so he can be prepared to run off when the time is right, and we'll get ready to defund.
This plan of stealing the money doesn't involve stealing the money and then leaving the city, does it?
Yeah, the king says, "Oh yeah, we'd have to go."
Because I'm no longer on board with that plan.
Well, we can't steal the money and stay.
Well, I mean, you can leave. We can do whatever we like.
Yes, the king can leave.
He says, "Yeah. So you know what? I can go down to the docks and get one of the royal yachts ready, one of the fast ones, and you guys just steal all the money and bring it down to the docks and chuck it on board, and I'll amscray, and we can meet up later to split up the money."
You think we're born yesterday, do you?
Oh, you think that there's going to be time to rob the place and then, find some place to hide in Loofah and split up the money and then take your time getting out of town? He said, I don't think so.
No,
I
don't
think
that's going to happen. No, I say we take the money, you come with us, then if we get in any trouble, you say, oh, I'm just, showing the folk around. We take the money, and then you take your share, and then you can vamoose, and we can take care of ourselves.
He says, "Ooh, I don't know, right? I could be there to kind of show you guys around, but then if the money goes missing, they're gonna think that I'm with you guys." And I'm not really the guy who does the going into the place. I'm more the guy who comes up with the scheme, and then I'm the guy who gets the boat, I think. And you guys get the money.
No. Don't worry, pretty little head. You can wait outside while we take the money, but we'll need you at least somewhat in proximity so we can have an excuse. But when the actual stealing happens, just wait outside. We'll slip you a share, and you can run off your merry way.
It's like, right. Yeah, so if I'm going to be waiting outside anyway, why don't I wait down at the docks? And you guys just can steal the money, put it on a wagon, come down to the docks, give me as much as you want me to take away to a safe distance so you're not caught with the money or anything like that or whatever, and then we'll go.
Because, to be honest, I don't trust you. That's why we don't want you down at the docks.
Right, well, I understand that.
How do you plan on getting out of the dock with the money and not getting attacked by the ghost ship?
Ooh. Right.
Or the hundreds of other ships working for the ghost ship that are ransacking every ship that leaves the port.
Okay, look, so we've heard that some merchants are able to purchase safe passage from that from the Leviathan. So I'll look into that and find out how much that is, and it would just pay that off the top of whatever, and then we'll split the rest after we've paid for, the safe passage to get out of the harbor.
No, we've been over this. We're not escaping with you right away. We don't know what our plan is.
Well, if your plan is to steal the money and then hang out in town, then I think that's not a good plan.
Well, we're going to have to wait for Elliot. And besides, I mean, it's not like they're going to check every single pocket of every person in town for the money. We have our ways.
Do you have ways of hiding 100,000 coin? This is a lot of money. It's 4 big chests full of gold bars.
Yeah.
Big chests. It took 6 people to carry each chest.
No, we'll steal its deposit the money, and then we can come back at a different time. We'll play it by ear. That's what Elliot would
deposit the money where? In my yacht.
Don't worry your head about it. It's none of your business.
He says, well, I guess if it's none of my business, then it's none of my business, and I'm out. So steal the money or whatever. Do what you want. I'm going to go hide. Okay. He kind of makes a dusting off motion with his hands and disappears back into the palace.
Well, what? Why does he take off?
Because he's a coward.
But it has... Well, I don't want to steal the money without him being there.
Fantastic. Let's come up with a new plan.
Oh, I hate Elliot plans of let's get everyone on our side and then quest on this boat for 1 billion years. No, let's do something. Let's see, and hire as people. Let's take the coins out, Jack. Come on.
That takes time.
We're doing the same thing, pretty much.
So, Arwen, as you're looking over the balcony, kind of shaking your head at this conversation that just went on between these people, you look down and you can see Marks exiting the palace early in the morning, and kind of looks around and takes a deep breath in and smiles to himself, and then heads off down deeper into the city.
Hey, guys, I've got something important to do. Murgatroyd, could you watch Amicus for a short period of time? Your
Not
family
big.
likes dogs.
Yes, my family might. I'll say yes, and then I'll tie him to something.
All right, I'm going to follow Max.
Excellent. So Arwen gets up from the table and heads back into the palace. And minutes later, you see her exit the front door and head down into the city at a quick pace.
We all do.
Yeah, you guys are sitting on the terrace that kind of overlooks the front entrance and exit of the palace.
Oh, so then did we see where the king went?
No, the king went back inside. He didn't leave the palace. He's inside somewhere hiding.
Oh.
If you wanted to call after him before he left, that's allowed, Valhalla.
Oh, yeah, I would have done that. I would have tried to continue the...
Okay, then I guess he hung out as Arwen got up and left. He steps aside so she can go through the door, and he looks at you, Valhalla, and gives you a little shrug like, what?
We can still negotiate this. No need to just run off.
It's like, well, it was a sweetheart deal. It was a great deal. 50,000 gold. I thought I was hoping to get a lot more than that. But thinking of it now, down to 14,000, it's not that great. And now I have to do all this other stuff and actually do work. So I'm less inclined. Maybe I just stay here and be king after all.
Wait, I'm confused. Why is it down from 50,000 to 14,000?
Well, because when we were splitting it 50-50, I was going to get 50,000. But now, you know, you guys, everyone gets a share, then it's down to 14,000 each, right? If we're splitting it seven ways.
Oh, I see.
So
Sorry,
it's, yeah.
I just didn't understand how much money was there. Well, no, you don't have to lift a finger. All we need is just you to be there, and then we'll go into the room and steal the money, and then we'll give you your share.
Yeah, but then I'm still there, and if we get caught, I'm caught with you guys stealing the money, and it's lose-lose for me.
Well, then you be on a standby. You don't have to be seen with us. You won't be seen with us then.
Right, I'll be standing by on the yacht in the harbor. Ooh, I
No,
can sell
no,
the
no.
yacht too.
We're not playing that game. We'll give you you stay in the castle. You know, find your hiding place in the palace. We'll come to you, give you the money, and then leave.
And then I got to get from the palace down to the yacht, carrying all that money when the city's on alert and there's guards looking everywhere.
But why would they be alerted right off the bat?
Oh, you're not.
Who's alerting the guards?
How are you going to deal with those guards? He points to the armory. You know, I assume that you guys are, going to go kill those guys and steal the money.
You know, we can figure something out, but why?
You had a stealthy way of stealing all this money and getting those chests out of there without anybody noticing? I would love to hear that.
Well, I didn't know that it was guarded by guys in armor.
Oh yeah.
Graham says, not Valhalla.
Oh, sorry, Graham. I thought I mentioned that there are at least half a dozen Anurian royal guards as well as several Loofah city guards guarding this tower, put there by Marks when he brought the chests of all the money in.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, then let's kill Marks and then tell his guard. You could tell his guards to leave, and then we'll deal with the money.
He says, "That's great. Yeah, if you kill Marks, that would solve a lot of my problems. Well, it would solve most of my problems. Actually, what you'd have to do is kill Marks, and then you'd have to kill Gryco and Greco, his two assistants, and then he's got some other supporters. It's a list of maybe about 16 to 20 people that I'd need you to kill to get this whole thing off my back. Hey, would you guys be up to that?"
I'm not doing your personal business.
Right, yeah.
But who are these? But who do these guys respond to, and why don't they respond to you?
Well, they respond to me, but Mark's he doesn't. He's like an old school loyalist. He worked for the old king, my wife's father, and he doesn't believe that I am the real prince. So I guess he's smart because I'm not really. So it's and Marx has spread the seeds of dissidence amongst several of these other rich and powerful advisors and people with influence in and around Loofah here, and that's why I'm only the interim king, even though we've had this deal. I forget which country down here we said it was. I think it was Nasir or anyway. Right, he says, I'm technically I'm here posing as a prince from the Kinsai, right? And when he says that, he slips into a very convincing Kinsai accent and says, that just posing as the prince. So they've been working really hard to prove that I'm not, and I feel like they're close. But if we could get rid of them or prove that they're behind this assassination plot, then that would discredit them in the eyes of the people, and I could get their influence removed and become full-fledged king. And then if I'm full-fledged king and I have the power and the authority, man, I could just get rid of them myself. So, I'm kind of in this bind here, which is why I was like, man, 50,000 and just go, and I could just be done with this. I thought that this gig was going to be sweet, and it has its perks. But, a con is a con, and it's time to move on.
I'm sorry, I stopped paying attention to you about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, right? See? You can't even listen to me talk about it for 3 minutes. Try living it, man. That's why. I was just like, 50,000 in a yacht. The places I could go, the things I could see. He looks out over the horizon and kind of cracks his knuckles reflectively. Arwen, make a stealth check, please. Stealth or streetwise, as you attempt to follow marks without being seen. Now, unfortunately, because you are a paladin, are you wearing your armor, I should ask?
I am.
Okay, so it's going to be a much higher DC. So it's going to be stealth DC of, let's say, 20 and a streetwise DC of 18. So you can decide which one you're going to try and do.
They're the same, so.
Oh, excellent. Nicely done. All right, so you you stealthily, in spite of your armor, you drape your green cloak that you managed to secure from your family's things in the Salwood, the fine elven material, over the shiny pauldrons and the chest plate of your armor, which is ritualistically polished to a mirror shine, to disguise yourself a little more, and you're able to move from alleyway to alleyway without being noticed as Marks works his way down to the waterfront. Once he's down at the waterfront, you see that he waits for a little bit outside of one of the restaurants until the town bell tolls the hour, and then adjusts his appearance in the reflection of a window and enters the very fancy tavern down here.
I'm gonna go in and get a seat somewhere where I can see him.
Excellent. When you enter the door, you're greeted right away by a maitre d'. So this is not the same restaurant that you guys saw Marks and the other rich fella and the fancy lady partying in the other night. This is a much fancier, and it's it's a little bit more restaurant and less tavern, I should say. But anyway, the gentleman says, "Yes, table for one, madam."
Yes, please.
Excellent. He guides you over to an area which is just out of sight from Marks.
Actually, would you mind if I just sit right over there at that empty table?
He kind of looks you up and down, and then looks at the seat and then looks back at you. How would you like to try and convince this fella? A bribe? Are you going to flash your holy symbol? Are you going to, pull down your hood and reveal your fine elven features and try and appeal to his manly side?
Let's try that one.
Okay, excellent. So let's say that's a charisma check. Crit fail. All right, so I'm going to say, yeah, you you pull down your hood and shake out your hair in your own mental image of what would look ravishingly beautiful. Unfortunately, you haven't really taken the time to comb and do your hair in a while, so you got a few nasty dreads, and then maybe like some kind of Amicus's chew toy falls out from your hood, and he likes dudes, yeah. So you completely fail that, and he just kind of crinkles up his nose a little bit at you and says, I'm afraid not, madam. No, this is the only table available. There are lots of tables that are empty, but he pulls out the chair for you, as though it's strictly his job, and he is not enjoying it at all.
All right, I sit down and I wait for him to walk away, and then I switch tables.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Back at the palace. So the king just kind of he's having a hard time figuring out too, right? He's like the king doesn't know what to do. And I guess he just flat out says that. He pulls the ratty wig off and drops it on the table and slumps down in a chair next to Sublime. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I thought that this king thing would be great, and it is kind of great. You know, I'm enjoying it. It's it's good to be the king, but it's tough too. Being the king, there's lots of tough choices to be made and things you got to do. It's hard work. I don't know if Elliot told you, but we don't really go in for hard work in our family. He reaches over and grabs a handful of dates off of one of the plates that's there and starts eating them.
Oh well, that's unfortunate.
He says, "Yeah, right." And I thought, having you guys here, he gestures around vaguely at the rest of you, but mostly at Jack and Murgatroyd, that it would be, not too difficult to knock out those guards, get those chests on a wagon, get them down to the harbor, and just get out of here. Just get out of here. It looks out over the horizon again.
Well, we tried negotiating.
Yeah. Yeah, negotiating's not really my scene either. It's like, yeah.
Well, I don't know what Elliot had in store, but since he's busy, I say we might as well leave you to it. I don't know. There's something else in this city that's worth checking out, don't you?
Yeah, I guess. Loofah's lovely. He gestures down. He's like, Dragon's Day is coming up soon. It's going to be a big party. You guys know Dragon's Day. It's the celebration of when the last dragon in Anwar was killed, which was, several hundred years ago now. Multiple, like almost 1,000 years ago.
Well, yeah, maybe we will stick around for Dragon's Day.
Oh, wait a minute. No, it's well over, because the last dragon was gone before the Fey Wars happened. And the Fey Wars ended 1,000 years ago. So, yeah. Dragon's Day has been a celebration in Anwar for a long time. It's kind of like their, I guess, like Thanksgiving. Right? It's a big feast. Lots of things happen. It's a national holiday on Dragon's Day. And he says, yeah. If we make it to Dragon's Day. Kind of gets introspective for a moment and falls quiet.
You have a disguise now. Why don't you just leave town?
I could leave town empty-handed. Done it before. It's always so much nicer to leave town. With a little something. So, he looks back into the castle. He's like, I suppose I could raid the treasury and still steal that yacht. Yeah. Okay, I got some stuff to think about. He looks at Murgatroyd and Jack, and he says, you guys remember that secret passageway that led to the little servants' quarters there, where the servants go to bang?
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll be in there.
Sounds good. We'll let Elliot know.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to let Elliot know. Yeah. Or not, if we're going to steal the treasure. Yeah.
Well, when you want to come back and negotiate on fairer terms. I'm sure we'll still be around until Dragon's Day, at least.
Yeah. Okay. He gets up from the table and walks in to the palace. Okay, Arwen. It doesn't take long. Maybe 10 minutes or so. I guess during that time, a waiter would have come over to the table where you were sitting and look confused and then come over to where you're sitting now. A quick glance over to the maitre d' who just shrugs. And the waiter just smiles and he says, yes, madam, can I bring you anything for breakfast?
Just water, please.
Very good, madam. He disappears for a moment, and then he returns with a fine-looking crystal bottle that is corked and stoppered and waxed. He cracks it open, the seal, puts down a lovely cut crystal glass in front of you, and pours the water from this bottle, which you immediately, the scents and smells, and you're like, oh my god, this is water from the sawwood. He places the bottle on the table next to the glass, and he says, enjoy, madam, and he leaves. And then, like I said, not long, 10 minutes later, another figure appears, this one very opulently dressed in the style of the merchants of Loofah, and he comes in and smiles at Marks, and he goes over and he sits down at Marks's table, who's happy to see him, and the waiter comes over, now that the two of them are there. They proceed to order a very large and luxurious breakfast, which is served in many courses, and they dine and they eat and they enjoy themselves, and that takes a little while. So back to the palace. You guys, the rest of the little breakfast spread that has been put out for you here disappears into Murgatroyd's pack.
Sorry, the rest of the breakfast disappears into Murgatroyd? Is that what you...
Yeah, Murgatroyd, anything that doesn't get eaten, Murgatroyd just kind of squirrels away into his backpack.
What, did we sleep? Was it night?
Yes, you slept. This is the morning. This has all been taking place in morning time, which is perfect for Valhalla, who just kind of is like, is this sunrise or sunset? This must be sunrise because it's still going up. Okay, yeah, the day's getting hotter. Yeah, okay, good. So that was breakfast. That wasn't some, before bed snack.
All right. Well, I don't know if it's just us here, and then there's something to do. I guess we might as well go see what Arwen is up to. If the king is going to cooperate. Is Jack with us?
I think so. Josh, are you still there?
Yeah.
No, I mean, is Jack the animal with us?
Yep. Sitting around the table right now is Valhalla, Sublime, Murgatroyd, and Jack. And the Sublime has kind of sat back after enjoying breakfast and tilted his hat down over his eyes, and he's, breathing heavy as though he's ready to have his after-breakfast nap.
All right. Well, then I am speaking to Murgatroyd when I say that.
What did you say to Murgatroyd? Sorry.
I'd say, well, if the king isn't going to cooperate with us, and there's nothing else really going on, I suggest we might as well go to what Arwen's up to.
Oh, yeah, we can go check. We also had planned to perhaps summon some ghost horses and ride to...
What?
To ride a ghost horse.
Oh. Who's looking for the ghost horse?
Well, we have a scroll that if we get a high enough roll, we can summon some ghost horses. So we need, an Arcana person, aka you or Vince, to, do some fancy stuff. But I think Elliot has a scroll, and he kind of was in charge of that plan.
Oh, well, in that case, I mean, how difficult is it to see Elliot right now?
It's not difficult. He's in like the king's private study, and he's just turning away everyone. But if you guys really needed to see him, you go see him. But he's also got the bag, so you can just shoot Elliot a message saying, "Give us the scroll," and if he's amenable to that plan, he'll put it in the bag and send it to you guys.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Are you sending them? Are you talking to Jake on Facebook chat, or should I?
I'm just about.
Okay. In that case, while you're doing that, we'll go back to... Oh, where's my roll 20? There it is. To Arwen. All right. So, after a long meal, which ends with them having some type of frozen sorbet or something really rich and fancy, they produce some very expensive smelling cheroots, light them up, and talk. And at that point, Marks kind of casts his eye around the restaurant. So I'm going to let you keep your stealth check from before and just
Thank you.
roll his. Oh, you beat him by 1. So he kind of looks around, but you've situated yourself directly behind a potted fern plant, and you're able to remain obscured from his line of sight. However, you can still kind of see what's going on at the table when you lean over a bit to one side. And while they are enjoying these cheroots, and there's a bit of a lull where there's no waiters around, Marks reaches into the folds of his waistcoat and produces a small velvet bag that's maybe about the size of like a plum. So it's not very big, but he very delicately and with care lays it down on the table with almost reverence, to which the other man immediately puts his cheroot in the ashtray and slides his goblet away from this area of the table and picks up the bag between 2 fingers and kind of feels its heft. And then he empties its contents into the palm of his hand, which kind of happens behind his arm, so you can't really see what comes out of the bag, but you hear him low whistle, like, and then tip whatever it was back into the bag, being very careful to get every last piece of whatever was in his palm back into this small bag and do up the drawstrings again. And then he puts it into his waistcoat and nods, and then reaches down into his large pockets of his very fancy waistcoat and produces a similar-looking leather envelope that you saw. I'm pretty sure you guys, we were all spying in the window, and you saw them, Lady Lafayette give over. He produces one of these and hands it to Marks, and then sits back and enjoys the rest of his cigar. Marks, however, once he gets his hands on this leather envelope, excuses himself, steps up from the table, and makes his way to the front. And after paying the maitre d' on his way out, he disappears out the front of the restaurant.
Well, darn. I want to know what's in the envelope, but I want the other guy more. I'm going to stay with the guy who has the velvet whatever with the stuff in it that I don't know. And hopefully wait to get him alone.
Okay, excellent. So at this point, the waiter, who's kind of been hovering throughout this whole thing, comes back and sees that you have finished the bottle of water. And he says, will that be everything, madam?
No, I'll take one more, please.
Very good. He produces another one for you, corks it, and fills up the glass, and then sets the bottle down and spirits away the other empty bottle.
Is the other guy doing anything? Is he just sitting by himself?
Yeah, he's just sitting there, enjoying his cigar, kind of smiling at himself. He waves one of the waiters over and whispers something to him. The waiter comes back with a small plate of cookies and a steaming pot of tea. Some digestives. He seems very pleased and happy about what's gone down.
Trying to come up with a way to get him outside. I don't want to do that charisma nonsense again.
You could find your way to the bathroom, tidy yourself up a bit. could try diplomacy. You could yell fire.
I think I might like to try diplomacy, actually. What if maybe I approach him, show him my armor, and tell him I need to speak with him outside?
Yeah, you could try that. Is that what you're going to do?
Yes.
All right. He looks up and sees you, and at first, a little quizzical until you kind of shrug the cloak back off of your armor and reveal yourself. And he's like, oh, taken by surprise. Perhaps even takes his feet down off of the chair that he had them up on opposite him and puts his cigar down into the thing. And he says, yes, madam.
I have urgent business I have to discuss with you, but it is of a private nature. We must do it alone.
He says, that's very interesting. He says, well, who are you? He says, I do not recognize your affiliation. He gestures towards your holy symbol.
Well, come with me outside. I'll explain everything.
All right. You know what? He's intrigued. And he gets up from the table, and he says, very well. He grabs one of the last cookie off of the plate and begins to munch it as he directs for you to lead the way.
I lead him out the back way where there will be no traffic of people.
You're going to try and go out the back door of the restaurant? Or are you going to go out the front door of the restaurant and then go around to the back of it?
Can I see the back door from where I'm at?
No, but you're pretty sure it's probably through the kitchens.
All right, we'll go out the front door and walk down the closest alley.
Excellent. As you begin to exit the front door, the maitre d' says, miss, your bill.
I don't think I have any money. I was saying that to Johnny, not to the girl.
Uh-huh, that's fine. The maitre d' says, that'll be 30 crowns, which is 3 gold.
And I say to the guy I'm escorting out, be a dear and take care of that.
He kind of smiles, and he looks to you, and he's like, okay, you've definitely got his interest now. He's intrigued. He reaches into his waistcoat and tosses some gold onto the thing, and he says, that should take care of it. He says, I'll see you later, Susan. And she kind of smiles back at him, and he says, now, please, as you were. My curiosity is piqued. You lead him outside the restaurant and immediately turn an alleyway to head back behind the dumpster, and you can see that he's still smiling. This guy is obviously, he's no stranger to like a back alley deal, right? Rich guys like these merchants often have some kind of dirty past. But anyway, so you get away from the streets and everything like that, and he looks at you now and he says, "You're not, strictly speaking, a woman of the church, are you?" He says, "My guess is some type of adventurer."
How big is this guy?
He's about 5'10", 5'11", little over 200 pounds. He's a little bit plump, right? He's got a very well-trimmed beard, very well-trimmed hair. He looks very rich. He's got some nice jewelry on. He's got a nice velvet waistcoat and nice breeches and shiny shoes.
Perfect. I am going to attempt to incapacitate him.
Okay.
I don't know, a hit with the tip of my bow, maybe?
Yes. So that was going to be my next question. Is it going to be are you going to try and knock him out, or are you going to try and choke him out?
I'd like to knock him out.
Excellent. Well, you don't even have to use your bow. You can use your hand. Right? All you got to do is punch him.
Well, the bow is harder than my hand.
Okay. Sweet. So you quickly draw the bow off of your shoulder and swing it. So that's just going to be a basic melee attack.
Hold on, I have that somewhere. Okay, I don't. What do I have to roll dice-wise?
It'll be strength mod plus half level, plus proficiency with your bow. So I think it's +3. So strength mod plus half level +3. But this is an enchanted bow, so +5. Strength mod plus half level +5.
Which die?
D20. Sorry. When you're making an attack, it's always a D20. In fact, when you're doing anything, it's a D20. The other dice are pretty much only for damage. 11.
Wow.
11 is unfortunately low. So he's like, he came up from the streets. So he's no stranger to a scrap. He was able to get one hand up in time and you thwack the bow into his forearm. To which he kind of like goes, whoa. He says, I see. You're not really a paladin at all. You're some type of assassin. He says, will you tell the Bruges Street brothers that I'm not going anywhere? And he goes to swing a punch into your face. Oh my god, I got a critical success. So that means you take 6 points of damage to the face.
You'll pay for that.
Your turn.
All right, well, now I'm kind of angry, so I'm just going to punch him.
Go for it. That would just be your strength modifier plus half level. 15 is a hit. And for you, a punch is a D4 plus your strength modifier. There you go. The last one had your strength modifier. So 3 points, and I'm guessing you're doing non-lethal damage?
Yes.
All right, so you pop him in the face, and he makes a face like, oh, that hurt. Would you like to use an action point to pop him again right away?
I would love to do that.
All right. Make another attack roll, please. Oh, you just rolled damage again.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay. Oh, that's a definite hit.
Now do I roll damage?
Yes, please. And don't forget the +2, so it's D4 +2. You gotta put your Jim Jams on, sweetheart.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to roll that one. I was just trying to change from the D20 to the D4.
Excellent. That one will do it. So you pop him one and then quickly followed up with a left, drive it right into the side of his temple. Boom! And you can see his eyes kind of cross, and he does a little dizzy two-step before kind of slumping down to his arse and then landing with his back against the dumpster. All right, so you have succeeded in knocking him out.
All right, I am going to take the most accessible and expensive thing I see on him, like a watch or something.
Okay.
And I'm going to go out front and find someone with a cart and offer it to them if they will discreetly take me and him back to the rest of the party.
Okay, let's see what kind of person you find. So the first person you run into out front is a gentleman with an apple cart, and he's just delivering some, bringing it around to deliver some apples to this very restaurant. And he kind of looks at you, and he looks at the bracelet, and he says, I'm sorry, ma'am, you want my help transporting what?
Does he look trustworthy?
Yes.
All right, then I tell him about the assassination thing and how I'm trying to stop it, and I ask for his help, and we'll give him payment in return.
He says, I'm just an apple farmer, ma'am. You should probably get a hold of the guard if you have proof that this man is in league with the assassins. He says, I'm no watchman. He looks really nervous about this, about, transporting some unconscious dude. He reeks of law-abiding citizen. So you're either going to have to pull paladin rank on this guy, or you're going to have to threaten him.
All right, paladin rank it shall be. How do I do that?
All right. You say, it's just like what a policeman would say. Like, okay, citizen, I'm commandeering you and your thing in the name of my God, right? which in this case works because this particular gentleman is good aligned. So he says, yes, ma'am, of course, for God.
All right. So we hop on board and we head back to... All right. Well, we cover him up with some apples and back, and then we head back to the palace where the rest of the group is.
All right. Excellent. All right. Back in the palace. You guys... So... You guys decided that you were going to head out and find where Arwen had gone. Is that where we all landed?
No, we were talking about whether or not we should get the thing from Elliot or if we should go out and do that.
Oh, right. Were you in communication with Jake?
We have Vince with us.
Oh, he doesn't want to do the scroll thing until Vince is here.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So in that case, after you guys were, passing some notes back and forth with Elliot and going to poke Vince, and Vince is like, "Oh, fuck off, leave me alone." You decide that, okay, well, whatever. And at that point, you are back on the veranda. I guess why not? And you look down the street and you see the form of Arwen, kind of, I guess, bossing around this fella who's pulling a cart full of apples. Are you helping him pull the cart, Arwen?
Of course I am.
Okay.
I'm good people.
Arwen is helping this gentleman pull, who he seems like he doesn't necessarily want to be there, but Arwen is in charge of the situation.
Okay, can I just tell him to stay right there while I run up and explain what's going on?
He just nods. He's doing whatever you say now.
Perfect. So I just go up and tell them what happened. Hey, I followed Marks, and he had this meeting with this guy, and they passed some information around, and I captured him, and we can interrogate him now. But we need to find a quiet place to, take him and interrogate him.
The rest of the party just kind of stares at you and blinks. Sublime goes.
Sorry, I didn't even notice that. I didn't know that she was with us. I thought she was speaking with someone else. I was in the middle of something.
No,
Sorry,
I'm talking to you guys.
I missed what you said though. I was reading something. Can you repeat that? I apologize.
Oh, yeah. I was following that Marks guy to see what he was up to, and it turns out he had a secret meeting with this other fella. They exchanged goods, and I captured the fellow. I have him down in this apple cart, so we can take him somewhere and interrogate him and find out what Marks is up to.
What? You captured someone. What did they do?
They are trying to kill the king.
But I thought the whole point of us not doing that was because we didn't have any proof that they were trying to do that to the king.
This is the proof. We're getting it.
Valhalla kind of messes his hands through his hair. Confused. I mean, if we got him captured, let's see him, I guess.
We're at Dante's uncle's place, right? This is as good a place as any.
No, you're at the palace.
Oh.
We could take him to Dante's uncle's place, though.
Right. It's probably better than doing it at the palace.
Okay, excellent. You all go back down to this poor, distraught apple farmer guy who, he as you come back down, you see he's nervously, nodding and good day, gentlemen, to some city guard as they walk past, and he looks to you with like panic and desperation in his eyes, and is very relieved when you guys get to your destination and haul this body off the back of his cart. To which point he's just like, very good, madam. If that's everything, I'll just be off then.
I would like to thank him for his service and offer him the watch.
I says, no, that's fine. No need. Happy to do it for God and the good of country. And I promise I won't tell anyone.
I was just going to remind you not to bring this up with anyone else. Thank you, sir, for your time.
He hurries away with his cart. He props a little bit too fast, several apples falling off the back of it and ending up in the street, where they're quickly scooped up by some street children. All right, you got this fella in Dante's uncle's manor house. You find a room that's still in pretty good shape. Central room with no windows or anything. Most of the windows were broken. You have to chase some seagulls out of the kitchen area once you get in here.
That's okay. Just do a quick scan, make sure there's not any like transients in there.
No hobos.
Arwen looks at Murgatroyd and says, "Where's Mikas?"
He's tied to like the bedpost in the palace or wherever you left us.
Disappointed look.
So is this guy tied up or what?
No, he's just in an unconscious pile on the floor right now.
Okay. Well, Arwen, what was your plan here?
Well, my plan was to get information from him, but I don't interrogate well on my own, so I thought we could do it as a group.
I see if I can wake him up, I guess.
All right. How would you like to try and wake him up? Would you like to use a heal check, or would you like to slap him around? Or throw water on him?
I'll throw water on him.
All right, so you go up to the kitchen area in Dante's house and go to the water butt. And
Before he does that, can I check him for what it was that he took from Mark's?
Absolutely. So while Valhalla's gone to get a little pot of water, Arwen throws open his waistcoat and reaches into the inside pocket. And in his inside pocket, you find a billfold with the promissory notes and things that the seems like the really rich guys deal in here, as well as a coin purse that has some coin of the realm. Let's see what else would be in his pocket. An expensive looking. No, the pocket watch would be in his vest waistcoat pocket. So just inside his fancy coat would be those things. Perhaps, I don't know, other pocket stuff, and the black velvet bag that's the size of a plum.
I'd like to see what's in the black velvet bag.
All right. You open up the drawstrings carefully and peer inside, and at first it appears to be empty, although it is weightless. But then you move it a little bit, and the light reflects off of hundreds of tiny surfaces inside. And you move over to get a little bit more into the light, and you see that the bag is full of gemstones, tiny little jet black gemstones, each one about the size of a pea, or even slightly smaller than a pea.
All right, I'll wait till we wake him up to see what he's doing with them.
Excellent. All right, Valhalla comes back, doofs the water on his face, which causes him to gargle. His eyes kind of open, unfocused. You can see where Arwen punched him in the side of his head is already swelling like a nice, decent goose egg over that temple. He kind of looks around, and when he sees Arwen, he starts to rise, scramble to his feet quickly, as though he's going to start swinging. So, everyone make an initiative check, please.
Okay.
Initiative for Murgatroyd and Arwen. God damn, Arwen.
I don't want to go first.
Jay? Looking for your macros, buddy? All right, Murgatroyd is just kind of standing there enjoying the show. Arwen, your keen elven reflexes mean that you're ready. Even before he starts to get up, you see him starting to move.
I kick him back down.
Excellent. With ease.
What now?
I said with ease. He's off balance. You just step forward with a crit on your initiative. You know, when he puts his weight onto one leg, you just shove him on, off balance. He ends up back on the floor on his side, and he points at you, and he says, the Brewer boys that sent you, you tell them to go to hell.
I demand he tell me what him and Max were talking about and why he paid him all these lovely gems.
He kind of looks at you sideways and he says, why don't you go back to them and tell them that I'm not interested in selling and take their business elsewhere.
Who are you talking about?
He says, the Brewer boys. So they didn't send you? Was it that ginger bastard? He said, you can tell him that I don't want any of his filthy dealings.
Again, I don't care about them. Why were you meeting with Max?
He says, well, if you're not with them, who are you with? Who the hell are you?
I slap him in the face and tell him to answer my question.
All right. He kind of tongues his cheek a little bit, stretching out where you slapped him, and rubs his face. And he looks up and he says, well, if you're not with the Brewer boys, and Fagin didn't send you, he says, then I don't know who you are or what you're doing here. So you must not know who I am. In which case, you don't know how much trouble you're in. So look, you just let me go, return my property, and we can pretend like this never happened, which is a much better deal than anyone who's ever knocked me out before has gotten.
Again, not an answer, but I'm going to let somebody else give it a go.
He takes a moment now to look around, and he says, Jesus Christ, when he sees Jack. I guess he says, Halen's blessing. So he looks up at Jack and goes, Halen's blessing! He says, that's a Minotaur, and he points at Jack.
We know.
All right. He casts around again, and his eyes fall on Murgatroyd. He's like, He's like, good. A dwarf. A sound, intelligent person at last. Look. He's like, right. Murgatroyd invokes the flame effect on diplomacy. And he says, hey, look. Okay, look. There's no need for that. Right? This can all just go away. You are obviously confused. Right? I don't recognize you. You're not from Loofah. You're not from around here. So, you don't know exactly what's going on. I understand. I was a hustler once myself. Look, okay? This is not a big deal. But this is not one you win. So you're just going to have to let me go.
So why don't you tell us what's going on, and then we'll decide if we let you go.
He says, what's going on here is some hapless adventurers have decided to kidnap what they thought was a rich merchant, not realizing just who I am and the power and influence that I have, especially down on the docks. He says, this is bad. This is bad for you guys.
So you're with the Leviathan crew?
He chuckles. He says, the Leviathan. Pirates. Disorganized pirates. He says, no. I'm much worse.
Can you be dead worth?
He, just a flicker of fear crosses his eyes. But he says, Sunshine, that is the last thing that you want to do. He says, there will already be people looking for me. He says, how many people saw you bring me here?
One, the apple guy.
He says, that's too many. Said, my people will find us. And I really hope, for your sake, that they find me alive. Because then, there might be a chance for you to walk away from this. But it's got to start with you letting me go right now, giving me that bag back. And when he points, he kind of looks down at his no, I guess it would be a pocket watch, right, that you took. He goes to feel for it, and he's like, just check the time. He says, you can keep the watch. You can keep whatever. But I need that bag back.
I just kind of look around, not really knowing what to do or wanting to be involved in the situation.
All right. He takes you in, finally, and he says, wait a minute. I know you. You're Valhalla Kazam. He says, I was at your show the other night. It was pretty good. My nephew, he's the one who wanted to go. I bought tickets. Yeah. It was good. It's not my thing. A little too loud for me, but the kids sure like you. And I like that. He says, I can see a big future for you in the merchandising. That's how you got some shirts and posters. That's small time. He says, look. He says, you tell your friends here. I'll knock this foolishness off. You guys come and see me. We can do some real distribution. We can get your name in every house. Up and down the coast here. All through Anwire. Come on, Valhalla Kazam. Be smart.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Oh, yes, that's an interesting offer that you've presented. However, with this whole interrogation and knocking you out and whatnot, I can't say I'm too involved with that. I more so just came to see what all the fuss was about.
He says, yeah, well, you're involved now. And you can be more involved in telling your friends to do the right thing and let me go. I understand. I was young once, too. High-spirited. And things get misconstrued. You end up grabbing the wrong guy. But right now, your best move is going to be just to let me go. And give me back that bag. And he points at the bag that Arwen's holding.
Why don't you tell us what these little ditties are? And actually, can I do an Arcana check?
Yes, you can.
Great.
Valhalla kind of leans over your shoulder, Arwen, and begins singing his song that invokes the magical energies. The song that you guys have heard him sing many times to try and summon the arcane flow. These stones are not magical, but the bag that they're in is.
What kind of magic's coming from the bag?
Preservation magics.
Oh. Can I take one of the things out and I don't know, just try to see what they are?
Yeah. You reach over and pluck one of the stones from the bag that's in Arwen's palm. And like I said, it's very small, like the size of, smaller than a pea. And it is a circular cut gemstone. So it's many, many faceted. And it's dark, dark black between your fingers. He kind of like lifts one hand up and he says, "Be careful, don't lose that." He says, "Don't drop it. It's a mess in here. We'll never find it again."
What is it?
He says, "It's mine." Do you ask him that, Arwen?
No.
Okay. You're not sure. If you'd like to make a religion check to see if there's anything in your religious training that has mentioned anything like this, you can go right ahead. Oh,
Me? I can?
yep, you can. I forgot about Hatim too, so it would have been an 8-way split. I mean, an 8-way split on the treasure, so you guys would even have less. No, there's nothing religion-wise that talks like there's lots of talk of gemstones and things like that, but nothing specifically that talks about black gemstones that are cut in this way, shape, or form.
Can I do thievery on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I missed your thievery roll there. Oh no, that was your Arcana
No, that's my
roll.
thievery. 23 is my
Arcana roll.
thievery.
Oh, you got 23 on both the rolls. That's why I was confused. So yeah, you kind of roll it around in your palm with the tip of your index finger, and you see that just the cut. You're not sure what type of stone it is, but the way that it's been cut is very, very intricate, and it would be very difficult. You know that
It would be very...
difficult to cut such a small stone with so many faces, right? This kind of work requires a jeweler with extremely fine tools and extremely powerful magnification. So regardless of what type of stone it is, the fact that it's cut in this fashion makes the price go way up.
What's the price of it?
You have no idea, because you don't know what type of stone it is. You're like, if this is black glass, then it's still worth something because of the design it's cut in, but you're not sure what type of stone it is. You need a stone
Wow,
expert.
is it possible to roll something that we'd be able to tell what kind of stone this is?
Yes.
Have I ever seen anything like it?
There we go. That was the question I was looking for. Do you let Murgatroyd handle it?
Well, if he wants to see it, he can take it.
All right. Valhalla kind of passes it off his palm to Murgatroyd's hand, and the fellow on the floor puts his hand up again like, oh, Jesus. You have a look at it, Murgatroyd. You like squeeze it between your fingers and roll it around. And you sniff it, and you hold it up to the light. And when you hold it up to the light, you see that it's not actually black. It's just such a dark shade of purple that normally it looks black, but if you look light through it, you can see that there's a slight transparent purple hue to this stone. But other than that, you cannot identify it. You've never seen stone like this before, Murgatroyd.
Interesting. I'll think out loud. I wonder if it's harder than Bloodstone, and like see if I can put it on like any kind of table or something, and get the hammer up to give it an inspection smash. See the reaction of the guy.
Yeah, he puts his hand up too, and he's like, hey, no. He says, don't look. It probably won't do anything, but just on the safe side, don't do that.
Why? What's this to you, anyways? This is a dwarven way of inspecting stuff.
He says, I understand. The dwarves have customs, and they're strange. He says, but look, these stones are important to me. They are personally important to me.
Why are they personally important to you?
For personal reasons.
Elaborate.
No. He says, I've had just about enough. He says, look, you guys are either going to let me go, or you're going to tie me up, or you're going to knock me out again. He stands up, gets to his feet, straightens his waistcoat, and he says, what would be the smart thing is to give me back my property and let me walk out of here. What would be the dumb thing is to try and stop me. And he takes a step towards you.
I drop the bag on the floor and I lift up my foot, getting ready to stomp on it.
All right, he stops in his tracks. And he says, careful, you'll scatter them.
Start answering some questions, or there'll be bigger problems than scattering.
He looks down to the bag and looks up at you guys, and he says, "Look." He says, "This is getting out of hand here." He says, "Those are my personal property. For me. I do not know why you're here, or what you're doing, or what you think you're doing. But you're going to give me those stones back, and you're going to let me leave. Otherwise, things are going to get very, very messy."
You've done a lot of talking, but we haven't learned a single thing about you or these stones. So start talking, or you're never getting them.
He says, "All right then." He kind of turns and looks at Valhalla Kazam, and he says, "Mr. Kazam, you've chosen poorly in the friend department." And he turns to leave.
What? How can he just leave?
He's just going to walk out the door.
I'm so confused.
Are we walking the door? He's not tied up?
No one tied him up.
Oh,
I kicked him down to the ground.
Is that initiative order from earlier still going on?
Yes. Well, it was just to see if he was going to be able to get to Arwen before she could act. But if you want to do something now, Jack, feel free to just jump in.
I'm just going to stick my hand out and shove him back into the room.
All right. He kind of looks you up and down. And he says,
the consensus of group. No hard feelings.
he says, "No, hard feelings. And I'm going to remember that." He says, "Now stand aside."
Group? Decision?
I don't know. He's given us no information. I don't want to kill him or anything, so...
Murgatroyd, what do you make of these coins?
I don't know. They're purple. And they're just like little gems, aren't they? Or they're not even gems, they're just glass.
No, they're precious stone for
I
sure.
don't know.
They're worth like serious money, or
You're not sure. If you've never seen this particular type of precious stone before, but you're like, a diamond that's cut like this is worth 10 times the price of an actual diamond. So whatever the value of this particular precious stone is worth 10 times as much just because of the manner in which it's cut. But because you have no idea what type of stone it is, you don't know where it sits on the price charts.
okay. But like all his stones are like on the ground, about to be scattered, and he's just gonna jet without them. He's just happy with leaving.
Oh, he's not happy. Not even a little bit.
Can I try and bargain with him?
What would you like to say?
How about I give you half the stones now, you answer our questions, and then I'll give you the rest of the stones, and you can leave.
He says, "No. This is your last chance to give me all the stones. There will be no questions."
Can we like insight him or try to find out if he's evil?
Yep, you can make an insight check. You get a sense of, there's definite malevolence there, and it went from, possibly being agreeable to some type of middle ground or amicability to straight Ben Kingsley in Sexy Beast. This is over. It's done for you guys. Now shit has gotten really serious.
All right, well, we can't just let him go. He's going to warn people that we have him, or that we had him, and that we're up to something, so...
Palin, you're suggesting we murder him?
I'm absolutely not If we just capture him and hold him safely until we sort this nonsense out.
Figure he'll be super impressed.
Maybe if we take him back to wherever the rest of our party is, they will have other ways to persuade him.
I think... Why did we grab this guy again? Was I out of the room at the time?
I grabbed him because I was following Marks. They met. They had an exchange. He gave Marks an envelope and Marks gave him the bag. I decided we knew where Marks was going. There's no point in taking him. So I decided to take this guy so that we could question him and see what Marks is up to.
But we are just trying to figure out what these stones are instead of what Marx is doing, or has he just been refusing to tell us what Marx is doing?
He's refusing to tell us absolutely anything. We've gotten zero information from him at all. Other than at first he was very concerned about these stones, even as individual stones, and now he's leaving without them, so... And he's some kind of bigwig, or so he thinks.
He's just really good at bluffing. He's got some marbles.
Where are the stones right now? Still on the ground?
They're right next to me on the ground. Nobody else is around.
And one of them is sitting on the table, on like a butcher's block, where Murgatroyd is standing with his hammer raised.
Alright, well let's just say when he decided to walk away, I felt no need to have my foot over the stone, so I picked the bag back up and all the ones except for that one are still in the bag.
Okay.
Can I just give it a tap? I won't full overhand smash it, but just tap it with a hammer.
Yeah, you dent it into the surface, so it's quite hard. It's definitely precious stone.
Did you
Jack,
look upset by that?
Yeah, he winced.
Test.
Good check.
We hear
Alright,
you.
good. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna bring up my harp, I guess.
Oh shit. If I see him bust out his harp, I'm gonna plug my ears.
Didn't we decide that it doesn't work on people with will over so high?
Valhalla and I worked it out.
To a different angle than that?
Yeah, it's now actually an attack roll against somebody's will.
So he doesn't attack the whole room.
He does. Anyone who can hear it gets he rolls a roll against.
Oh, alright.
Alright, I'll look around at the people when, whoops.
While he's doing that...
that.
No, go ahead, Val.
Alright, and yeah, I'll play my harp against him.
Okay, make an attack versus his will.
Wait, before we do this, guys, we should probably restrain him.
I'm okay with that.
Like,
I'm okay with that.
100%. In case things go foul. Do we have any rope?
Might have rope and pack. Give me a sec.
All right, if Jack goes to get something out of his pack, this guy then tries to make a break through the door.
Jack is searching with one hand and uses other hand to shove him back again.
All right. Contest of strength, please. I got a 12. You got a 19. Yeah, he shoves against you, but you shove him back into the room. And then he balls up his fists, and he approaches Jack as though he's going to take a swing at you, Jack.
Okay. Well, I'll just play the harp then before this happens.
Okay.
I'll, as dramatically as possible, raise my hand up so people can see what I'm doing, and then they have a time to plug their ears, and then I go and play the harp.
Ears plugged.
Jack will accept the potential whatever.
Oh, he rolled really low on his IQ,
he
so
rolled
he doesn't
really-
figure out what's going on. So he does not plug his ears as well.
Great. What's the rule with the harp with attacking him?
It's charisma +3 versus his will.
+3, okay.
Oh yeah, that's a hit. All right, now you need to roll percentile dice. Under 50% is charm, over 50% is frenzy.
Under is what I'm looking for?
Yes, under is what you want.
Shit.
All right. Your music just makes him grind his teeth, and he sets his fists harder and just goes towards Jack. Jack, you didn't have your ears plugged either?
Nope.
All right.
So he's going to have a bad time too.
Well, Valhalla makes another attack roll against Jack. He should roll separate attack rolls for everybody. But if Valhalla also hits your will, then you will be frenzied too.
Okay, so I attack his will again?
Yeah.
I don't hit Jack's will.
Okay, so you don't have to be frenzied if you don't want Jack. But anyway, he shouts, "Nobody messes with the Kingfisher." And he swings at Jack. Does a 14 hit your AC?
Nope. And I would like to grapple and restrain him.
Excellent.
Kingfisher, eh?
So, yes, grapple is strength versus his reflex.
Try to annoy him, too. Poke him a bunch and see if he'll holler some other information.
No, unfortunately, he is a little too wriggly now that he's enraged. So you go to grapple, but he turns sideways really quick and pops an elbow up under your jaw, catching you unsurprised. So then it is Arwen's turn.
Arwen's going backwards, elbow to the face.
Okay, Arwen steps in to engage in combat. Jesus. All right, Arwen snaps him with a backwards elbow, breaking his nose. Twin plumes of blood fountain out as his head ratchets back, and he just goes back in one clean motion and hits the dirt. Boom, unconscious.
Seriously, I didn't mean to do that. Although we can tie him up now.
Yeah, he seems to be calmed down.
That's Murgatroyd's favorite method of calming somebody down.
Alright, so what are we going to do with him now?
Well, Jack is going to make sure he does not have concussion.
All right, make a heal check.
Although if he did have a concussion, he might be a bit delirious and spill some beans.
Just oh yeah, it's 6. Yeah, okay, yeah, Jack, you get in there and you use your thumbs to reset his nose. You check the back of his head. And there's gonna be a goose egg there, but you don't think there's a skull fracture or anything like that, so he'll be okay. You want to tie him to a chair? You want to tie him to a table? You want to tie ropes around his wrists and ankles and stake him down to the floor? You can leave him with his clothes on, take his clothes off.
Why would we take his clothes off?
Why are we taking his clothes off?
Just curious.
You're such an
Oh,
instigator.
I thought Arwen said, let's take his clothes off.
No, I didn't say that.
You're gonna search him, right? Search him for web. He might have like a knife in his boot or something.
Might be packing heat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I suggest
Jack will tie him to a chair.
Excellent. Jack.
Making sure he is nicely tipped so that he can rest his head without creaking his neck.
Why don't you just heal him if you're that concerned?
I already did that. He gets no more. Now it's just time to play nurse.
Excellent. All right, Jack, you
I think I
succeed
look good in stripes.
tying him down to the chair firmly. All right, once he's tied down, are you going to try and wake him up, or are you going to let him wake himself up naturally?
Do you guys want to continue interrogating him, or what do you want to do?
I think I'll just go again on my magic harp. I think it's probably the best.
Then I will wake him up.
Okay, how would you like to wake him up? Gently or not so gently?
Gently. I'm sure I can use some of my herbs to,
I can
catch his
heal him
attention.
if you want.
Yeah. So Jack rolls up a big fatty, uses some of his herb to wake this guy up. Whispers some sweet moos in his ear. I like that. Oh, yeah. I never even thought, do minotaurs have, like, gigantic tongues like cows? I guess they would because they have cow heads.
I would think so. Man, I should be licking things.
Yeah. That's a great way to make friends. All right.
Especially giant piles of salt.
Yes. So, yeah, Jack, I'll just let you use your heal check from before. You crinkle up some herbs and maybe just light them on fire a little bit so the smoke burns under his nose, and he wakes up, and he looks around for a moment, kind of surprised, and then goes to lift his arm, and as soon as he notices he's tied down, he just stops struggling and just gets really calm and sits there and looks right at Jack, I guess, who's kneeling in front of him, looking you right in the eyes.
I'm going to hold up 3 fingers and ask, how many fingers do you see?
He says 3. 3 for now.
That,
You'll be
that is
lucky
good.
if you get 3 later.
Yeah. Making sure you're not, damaged.
He says, oh. He says, no. Yeah, I'm going to be okay. I'm not
Figure
sure.
that.
Well, you did get knocked out twice by a girl, so I'd rethink that.
He kind of smiles at that a little bit. And he says, yeah. So that's good. It means that we don't have to go easy on you later.
What was that thing we heard earlier? What he said.
He looks confused.
I'm talking to the others in the group. He said the name.
Kingfisher?
Yeah, Kingfisher.
He says, so you have heard of me. And you jumped me anyway.
No, you're not important enough, apparently.
His eyes narrow at that.
I also heard something about some street brothers.
So he is small-time crook?
He says, a little lesson for your future. If you have one. When you go into a town, you should ask around. See who the important players are.
Of course he's a small-time crook. None of us have heard of him, and we're big players here, so he must not really be worth much.
No, we're not big players here. We are big players elsewhere.
Dude, he doesn't know that. Be cool.
I love that movie, Murgatroyd, and that is exactly what I was thinking.
I was like, we're gonna cut his finger off anytime now.
I'm surprised we haven't already.
It's a great movie. The scene when he's like, oh, this is spooky.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
I was telling Zoe yesterday, or a few days ago.
So
that Suicide Kings is basically like what I imagine your taste in movies to be like. Like whenever I think of that movie, it's like, oh, I bet Johnny really likes that movie.
I do. I really like that movie. It's one of my favorites.
So,
very, sorry, Jack, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right. So name Kingfisher. Does that mean you are top of chain, or is that just generic bird name? Because you want to be different.
He says, "It's my name, Brillig Kingfisher." He says, "And I am the chain."
Does that mean you are a gang of one? I apologize. Jack is not very familiar with gang.
He says, "I can
with
tell
gangs.
You're not from around here, and it's too bad you're not going to get to see more of Anwire. It's a shame, really."
Yes, Jack is far more used to dealing with zombies and liches.
He says, "Yeah, it's true, holy man. You should have stayed out in the wilds. Obviously, the city it's no place for you."
But there are some things from out in wilds and battlefields Jack has learned. Some things that are still useful in cities.
He doesn't say anything. He just looks at you.
Like, most people need their... Most people are right-handed, right?
Yes.
In this world, are you asking him or are you asking the game master? Sorry, Josh.
I'm asking him.
He doesn't answer you. He just keeps staring at you, staring right into your eyes.
We need information on what your group is doing for Marcus. Otherwise, we don't care about your group. But if you don't help us, then we do care.
He just kind of shrugs, and he says, "Well, I think at this point, you're going to do what you're going to do."
If that
Not
were
really.
true, you'd be dead.
You still have choice in this matter. Heck, you will have choice for many stages in this matter.
He says, "My dealings with Marks are just that. They're my dealings. I don't discuss business outside of the office."
Is your office on a boat?
He says,
Can I give another go at my harp?
"Yeah."
Sorry, did you say yes? My
Yes.
mumble's really cutting out.
I did say yes. Yes.
Once again, put my arm up in a very dramatic fashion to alert the others, and then go ahead.
Yeah, I'll plug my ears if I see his...
Fingers and ears.
All right. You play the harp, and it doesn't seem to have any effect. He just kind of... Now he's staring at Valhalla and just kind of shaking his head. He's like, "Oh, a lot of people are going to be sad, Valhalla. A lot of people are going to be sad to see you go. Could have been a lot of money."
You're pretty good
Can't
at
do it
doling
again.
out threats, but you're the one tied up.
He looks down at himself, looks up at you, and he says, "Yeah, guess I am. I'm still making threats, though. So what does that tell you?"
That you're not that bright?
He shrugs. And he says, "Fine, ask your questions."
Can I try to play the harp again?
No, it's an encounter power. You have to wait for like 15, 20 minutes in order to do it again.
I'll ask a question. Why were you meeting with Max?
Business.
What business?
Personal business. He had something that I required, and I purchased it from him.
What did you give to him?
Money.
That's not true. I saw you gave him an envelope piece of paper in it.
He laughs, and he says, "Oh, I forget. You adventurers, you only know the clink of coin on coin. Here in the city," he turns to Jack. "Here in the city, us civilized businessmen do dealings with something we call a bank. A bank is a place where rich and powerful men keep their money."
I want to hit you, but it doesn't seem there's much point.
He just kind of lets his head loll to one side and looks at you through the tops of his eyes.
Paper money? Promissory notes?
He says, "Oh, you've heard of these things."
Fiat currency? Yes, originally made by churches.
Bravo.
Well, churches and banks.
Even where you come from, your backwoods, primitive, animal places, you have money.
I'm from the Dwarven Mine, or Dwarven City. Not that backwards. Well, relatively.
Says, "Well, so I guess if they can teach a creature like you to walk on its hind legs, they can do anything."
I snicker.
So, money.
He says, "Do you know where your people come from? Your people? Minotaurs? Cowmen? Half man, half cow? It means that sometime in the
I
past,
snicker.
some man fucked a cow. Had to fuck a cow. It's like, do you know what kind of man fucks a cow? A crazy man. A lunatic. A psycho. So, you're the descendant of some psycho. Some lunatic crazy person who fucked
Arwen, walk out of
food.
now.
Just fucked some
Arwen,
food.
walk out of room now.
Okay.
It's like, he kind of laughs to himself and he nods to Valhalla. It's like, you get it. It's like, yeah.
Is Arwen out of room now?
Yeah, Arwen left the room. Sublime left the room too.
I'm going to take his
Why did Sublime leave?
right hand and proceed to slowly break each of his fingers.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, you just start snapping.
One at a time.
And the first couple, he's like, oh! But then by the time you get to the last one, he actually screams in pain.
I've been holding back hurting him for a long time now.
He's like, after the end of it, he's like, oh, it's like, yeah, yep, it's a psycho.
Oh, but I'm not all bad, and I'm gonna heal that hand with the magic healing.
Okay. You heal it. He goes, yeah, I'm sure you're not all bad. I'm sure you're delicious with a baked potato and some blue cheese.
Ooh.
Blue cheese is good. I really can't deny that. But I want to know, was it loan or straight cash?
He says, and I want to know, do you think that cow liked getting fucked by that psycho? Do you think it was good? Or do you think she even felt his tiny penis at all? His little cock in that giant cow pussy. Right, you gotta think. Cows used to getting fucked by a bull. Some fucking psycho loser. Probably a psycho because he had a tiny cock.
Why did your mind first go to man fucking cow and not cow fucking man?
He laughs. He goes, "Oh, that's brilliant." Yeah. Some fucking psycho chick. Some crazy bitch.
Do you have experience with this?
She just spread him and let some bull mount her and tear her a new one. He says, "That's brilliant." That's your ancestors, you know. Some crazy psycho human lunatic who's willing to fuck a cow.
Alright, can I play the harp?
Yes, please play the harp.
That has been nowhere near 20 minutes.
What's that?
It's been nowhere near enough time for the harp to recharge.
Oh, how long does it take?
It takes like 20 minutes.
20 minutes game time or human time?
20 minutes game time. And that whole exchange is, you know, I mean, we've only been talking about this for like 5, maybe 6 minutes. So if you want to, he's not going to stay quiet for 20 minutes.
Do we need him?
He seemed like an interesting lead.
Clearly not.
Oh, we can't just kill them, though.
Street gang member?
What if... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I'm not there. Carry on.
He says, "Valhalla, you seemed like you were kind of on the ball. Do you know that you're traveling around with the descendant of some psycho bestiality nut? Or just fucks or get fucked by cows? Maybe you're into that. You like the idea? You want to fuck this cow? Huh? What do you think? Did you ever get curious, Valhalla?"
I'm going to gag him with a piece of rope.
Okay, yeah, you gag him.
Anyways, do we need this man? I mean, we know money was exchanged. We don't know if it was loan or straight cash or the exact purpose of money. He probably doesn't know because he is probably not important enough to know.
He traded him the message, not money.
What's that?
Message from Goatip? Perhaps?
No.
Yes, Arwen comes back in the room now that she hears Buddy's been gagged.
So you guys didn't get anything out of him?
We found out what he likes to think about in his off time, but that is about it.
I feel he has information that we need, but I feel he's not going to give it to us. Or it's going to be very hard for us to get it from him.
Yes. I also feel that if he leaves, he will basically be hindrance.
Well, since we have a personal connection with the king, can't we get him thrown into, I don't know, a private cell?
These types he would probably break out. Again, I think he is more hindrance.
So you want to kill him?
Maybe not. Maybe we could ship him out of town.
How do we get him out of town? We can't send him by way of water.
Wait, why do we have to do this?
We don't want him to tell anybody about us?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like if we're going through that much trouble, we could kill him.
rock stars in the killing game now?
No, I don't want to kill him, but I think if we're going through the, the effort of like putting him on a ship, I don't know.
Well, why don't we just knock him back out, keep him tied up really good, and just leave him here in this abandoned house where nobody is going to think to look for him?
I agree. Let's just leave him here for now.
Again, I really do think he has pertinent information that we need to get. We need to find a way to get it, though.
Oh, let's just wait until the harpy tries or starts, and then try it again.
Okay.
Oh no, I'd say yeah. Has enough time passed where we can play the harpy?
Yes.
Let's do it. Nice.
All right. Roll the percentile dice. Low for charm, high for rage.
Can he rage unconscious?
I'm sorry, what was your question, Crystal?
Can he rage unconscious?
Like rage himself unconscious, or does he rage when he's unconscious?
He's currently unconscious because that's the way we put him. So could he get in a rage in that state?
Conscious.
He's just
gagged.
Never mind.
So yeah, he starts like rocking the chair back and forth like he's gonna tip it over, and just now he's staring at Valhalla with murder in his eyes, and his teeth are biting down hard on the rope that you've put in there, and he's like shouting, but he's mostly shouting incoherence into the rope, and he's rocking so hard that he's gonna tip the chair over.
I whistle at him to get his attention, and I start flicking the little gems in the bag into different parts of the room.
He's frenzied. Don't stop. That's not going to help anything.
That's how we got our last bit of information, was the exact same thing.
Jack is going to very carefully remove the gag.
Oh, yeah.
All right, he says, "You're dead. You're all dead." And he looks over at Arwen. He says, "Oh, you're extra dead. Extra dead."
Can I hold down the chair?
Yeah. How would you like to hold it down?
Can you help me with this?
You're gonna hold down the back of the chair, or are you gonna like put one foot on the side of the chair, or put one foot between his legs to hold the chair down?
I put my hands on the back of the chairs, and then I ask Murgatroyd for help.
All right.
Help.
Excellent. So yeah, you guys come over, and he's struggling. He's like headbutting you in the chest and arms, Valhalla. But he's Jack did a good job of tying it. What's your strength again, Jack? I'm pretty. It's high, right?
Like my bonus or
no? What's your strength?
The flat number.
Flat number.
20.
Jesus, yeah, you tied the shit out of these ropes. He's not going anywhere. So, I forget. Where's the Harp of Discord?
Can we taunt him or something? Get him to say something?
Oh, it's he would stay frenzied until you stop playing, because it's a sustained minor. You have to keep playing the harp.
In order to.
Oh well, I would immediately stop playing.
Okay, in that case, when you stop to go hold down the chair, he stops, and he's Now he's staring at Arwen, who flicked, I don't know, maybe 3 of those gems away before he stopped frenzied.
All right. Well, I get ready to play it again after another 20.
Okay.
Can I do a knowledge check?
Yeah, go ahead.
On the gems? Maybe I've seen them from my hometown.
Okay.
Just intelligence?
Yep. Intelligence or history. Arwen, with your passive insight, you sense just this flicker of sadness that's mixed in with the anger and rage that he's focusing on you. Not Jack, you've never seen this type of stone before. You're like, there's some purple amethysts, right? But they're not this dark. This is a new type of precious stone that you guys haven't been exposed to.
All right, well, can I try... I don't know, would it be diplomacy if I wanted to kind of like bargain with him? I'll go pick up your gems if you like tell me a bit about them.
He says it doesn't matter. He says, we'll pick up the gems. We'll find every last one of them if we have to tear this house right to the ground.
Man, there is just no getting this guy to cooperate.
While we're waiting
Although I do want to get those gems.
While we're waiting for the harp to recharge, can I try scratching the two of the gems together, seeing if they'll scratch against each other?
They do not scratch against each other. And
Can
Arwen,
we
make a
make him eat
perception
one?
check for me, please. Sorry, Murgatroyd, I stepped on you there. Arwen, make a perception check. And what did you say, Jay?
Can we make him eat one of the gems?
Yeah, you can try and force him to eat one of the gems.
No, this means he has one in his possession then.
I was going to say he'd probably welcome that.
So in the 20 minutes it takes for the harp to recharge, Arwen, you find one of the gems that you flicked away. So there's still two missing.
Can I also find the one that's on the table? Because I know where that one's at.
Yep. Are you going to try and force feed him one of these gems, Murgatroyd?
I guess I'll ask him first if he wants to eat one.
He stares at you. Just murderously staring at you.
I'm like, yeah, they look pretty tasty.
Can I play the harp?
Yeah. You guys you wait for 20 more minutes where he just kind of sits silently staring daggers at all of you. And then, yeah, you can play again. It has no effect.
Alright, another 20 minutes, I suppose.
I'm going to look for the other two gems.
All right, make another perception check, please.
We're gonna have to go like hoist this guy up and tie him to like wherever the flagpole is with the red flag and sit him on top of that.
You find one of the other, so there's still just one missing gemstone now. Okay, so after waiting about 15 minutes now, I'm gonna say with all this time and everything like that, it's after supper time now, and the sun's going down. So you've got that golden light of magic hours beaming through the windows, and it's quite lovely outside, a beautiful summer sunset of an evening. And as you're kind of waiting, Valhalla, you're checking on the harp to see if its magical abilities have reached the point where you can use it once more. Sublime kind of comes in from the balcony, and he says, you guys, there's like a thing. And then he falls flat on his face, and there's 3 large arrows sticking out of his back.
What the fuck?
Sublime!
I run over to him.
Okay.
Undoubtedly his friends. We wasted way too much time.
I know, I'm surprised we had this much time.
All right, you run over to Sublime, and he's dying. He's dying.
Can I run over and lay hands on him and heal him?
Yes, you can.
Doing so.
Okay, just mark off that you used one of your lay on hands. So Arwen runs over, rips the arrows out of his back, which causes more damage, and Slime's like, oh, no. But then she lays on hands and heals him.
I actually have to get going. I didn't realize the time. Sorry,
It's late.
That's okay. That's actually a really good and dramatic moment to leave it, is right when Sublime falls down with arrows in his back, and you guys realize that the place has been set upon.
Before we go, can I use nature to find that one last gem?
No. You're going to have to, because an encounter is now starting. So there'll be initiative order, and you'll have to, on your turn, use an action to try and find the gem.
All right.
So yeah, I guess the last thing that kind of, as Arwen runs over and is healing Sublime, the man in the chair, Kingfisher, just starts laughing and laughing.